Hello everyone, my name is Kristen and this is my cathedral garden. If you are new here, I am so excited that you are here. I am a homeschooling mama to 4 kiddos. This year I have a 5th grader, a 3rd grader, a 1st grader, and a 4-year-old. And today I'm telling you all about our favorite Christmas traditions. So let's go. Before I begin, I do want to let you guys know that this video is in collaboration with Christy from These Little Sprouts. She is hosting a collaboration with quite a few moms, and we are all telling you guys our favorite traditions. So be sure after you are done with this video to head down to the playlist. I will have it linked below and catch up on what all the other mamas are telling y'all about their Christmas season. Thank you so much, Christy, for hosting. You guys, if you are not following her already, be sure to check out her channel and check her out on Instagram. I will link both of those down below as well. Okay, let's get into it. As I have stated in my holiday day in the life, I'll link that one right up here, is December is not quite my favorite. I don't really enjoy planning out big, huge things ahead of time because you never really know what's gonna pop up and what happens if it goes awry and all of that stuff. And December feels like it's just a month full of it. And so I really have to gear up for it and prepare when I can, but also try to just let some things go. So it's definitely a stage for me of living in the middle, knowing everything's not gonna go off perfectly, but also having a little bit of forethought and trying to plan out how I do want our season to go, so that way I'm not just constantly rushing and feeling very frazzled. So I'm gonna share with you just a few traditions that our family has. A lot of these will not be new to you guys. You probably are already doing them as well. Some of them might be. I'll be sharing a few resources too, and I will link it all below if and when I can. So, let's get into it. One thing I do like to do to kick off our Christmas season is I like to give everyone their Christmas pajamas on the night we decorate the tree. So this year, what that meant is that I put everybody's pajamas all in bags with their hot chocolate cups. I believe I talked about in a video last year, if so I'll link it up here, about the hot chocolate cups that I got that always come out during Christmas and only then. And so this year I put their Christmas pajamas in with their hot chocolate cups and some hot chocolate in a bag, and then I had that sitting under the tree and they got to open those that night and we all decorated the tree together. That is how I like to kick off the Christmas season. We used to do pajamas in Christmas Eve boxes and stuff, but I remember hearing somebody talk about how giving them pajamas on Christmas Eve, they only got to wear them one day when they fit instead of an entire month. And so their family actually gave out pajamas on the 1st of December or the day after Thanksgiving. There's a couple of different ways to do that, and I thought, hey, that's great. I'll just do it whenever we decorate the tree, whenever that happens to be. Now, as you guys know, if you've been around here for any length of time, I do love Thanksgiving, so we usually are holding off on decorating our tree until after Thanksgiving. So take that for what it's worth. But we do like to give out Christmas pajamas on the night we decorate the tree. That is our tradition. Another thing that comes out early on in the Christmas season, specifically on December 1st, is our Christmas countdown box. So I picked this little guy, or it's really kind of big, up at Tuesday morning, just a discount store. And it lights up. It was about 4 years ago, I think, and I had really never seen anything like it. Now they have kind of made a comeback. I've seen quite a few of these at World Market. In fact, this is not really my favorite thing anymore because it's orange, but my kids love it. And so each day that it works and that it fits, I will leave a little note in one of these boxes, and they will get a little trinket of some sort or be told about an activity we are doing. So it's something just Christmassy. Sometimes it is a new movie. For example, I found the Charlie Brown Christmas movie half off on Black Friday, and so I grabbed it. That'll be something that goes in the box, and we will use that throughout the season. Or it could be something that we are doing that is a big event, such as we are going this weekend to look at lights in a big huge city in Dallas. with my side of the family, and they have no idea about that. So that will be in a box and coming up. And so it's just little things. I put a little Christmas tree, a felt Christmas tree that has ornaments on there, and I put that up this morning and then said go look by the front door. That was what was in their box today. And so it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be major, but it can be. And it's just a fun way to do something different during the Christmas season. I'm trying to go in order of the beginning of the season towards the end. So the next thing I guess I will get to is we like doing pajama bake-off. We actually did this for the very first time last year. I will link that video up here. It was so much fun. We ended up doing it in November, which was also a lot of fun, but we have not actually done that this year yet. It is boys against girls, and we called it pajama and pie bake-off because we both baked pecan pies, and my in-laws came down and judged them for us. I think this year we just said we were going to do a dessert. And so I am anxious to see what actually all ends up playing out this year. But that was a really fun tradition that we started that I think will just continue to grow and evolve, especially as our kids get older. Like I'm picturing in my head a kitchen full of teenagers, because at one point that's what we're going to have, and which is crazy. And so I'm really excited about that one. We obviously do have an Advent or a Christmas devotional. This year I picked up Shadow and Light by Tish Oxenreider. I have really liked this. You guys, this is very much an Advent devotional, and it has taught me so much this year. I did not realize that Advent was not just a countdown to Christmas. Like, I was calling our little Christmas box an Advent box, just thinking Advent meant countdown to Christmas. It's not. It's a completely separate season on the liturgical church calendar, kind of the way Lent is to Easter. And so it's just an expectation and an upcoming of the celebration of Christ. And then Christmastide is a season in and of itself that starts on Christmas Day and goes to January 6th, Epiphany. And that's actually where we get the 12 days of Christmas. I learned all of that through this book. And so it is an Advent study. And what I really love about this is that she is a busy mom and she gets it. So she uses the Psalms in this study, and there's one question. There is an artwork piece that you can look at, as well as a musical piece that you can listen to that kind of corresponds with that day's reading. I cannot tell you how much I adore this. One thing that she said, I heard about this actually on a podcast that interviewed her, and she goes, look, I love all the Christmas studies, all like the Jesse tree and things like that. The problem is a lot of them build upon themselves. And so if you miss a night, like we're all prone to do, we're going to get in late or something like that. If you end up missing 1 or 2 nights, you're behind and you have a lot of reading to do. And so she said, I wanted to make sure that these all could kind of almost stand alone. They weren't building on each other, but working in conjunction. And I really, really appreciated that. You could do this together as a family. Right now, I'm doing it for my own personal study, and I am loving that. I wake up in the morning by the light of the Christmas tree and do my study. But you could totally do this as a family, maybe with olders. It's definitely not just super out there and kid exuberant and stuff like that. It is a slow reflecting time, and it's really been exactly what my heart has needed this season. So I've loved this one. What we've used in the past, I actually got this last year, is Jesus Christmas, Exploring God's Amazing Plan for Christmas by Barbara Rioch. And if you are a BSF goer, then you should know that this lady is the lady who is in charge of the BSF children's program, the head of the program. If you don't know what BSF is, it's Bible Study Fellowship. It is an international Bible study that is held all over the world every year. And there is a children's program that goes along with that that is phenomenal. Everybody goes through one thing a year. So like, for example, I believe this year BSF is going through the book of Matthew. And the neat thing about the children's program, is that they study what the adults are studying. There is no downtime. It is so thorough. And so that lady who is in charge of the children's program at BSF also wrote this study. And so it does build upon itself. It goes through December 1st through the 25th, like stars in the sky. So you're starting in Genesis, and then there's questions, a little bit of reading. It's super easy, but we had some of the sweetest discussions. One in particular where my then 8-year-old kind of started really understanding the symbolism and the beauty behind God sending Christ and how it all worked together. I mean, it was so neat, and just an understanding in his little heart of the love that God had for us just from one of these lessons. It was, it gives me chills just to think about it. So I loved this book. It's quick, it's easy, to the point, kid friendly, totally recommend. Real quickly, I'm gonna run through just a couple of smaller little things we do, such as we go out and we buy an ornament every year. We let the kids pick out their ornament for the year. For example, this is one of my daughter's ornaments, and they love getting to see these year after year. Everybody gets a new one. And I did this growing up as a kid. I'm sure a lot of people do this as well. What's really neat is that when my kids are grown and moving out to their own homes with their own families, I'm going to have a box of ornaments that are theirs, that I can hand over to them, that they can use to decorate their first tree with. And I love that idea. So everybody picks out an ornament every year. Something we started doing a couple years ago, which this one's gonna be loud, is picking out a family ornament. Now this was ours from 2019. I try to remember to write the year down, and that it was our family ornament. It can be sentimental, or it doesn't have to be. It can be a reindeer bell, but we all pick it out together as a family when we go to pick out our ornament too, and that is always fun just to see what we end up agreeing on that particular year. And I've really enjoyed doing that one, so I was glad to add that one into our repertoire. Another thing that our family loves to do is we love to rate Christmas lights. And so sometimes when we have a down night, we will just load up in the van and go and find a neighborhood that we've not been to and look at Christmas lights. And then growing up, my parents, we had like a 1 to 10 rating system. And so what was a 1 and what was a 10? And so we go around and we rate them. Of course, the kids think everything is an 8, a 9, or a 10.
Oh no, I agree. An 8 because they didn't do the top of the roof.
You can do them top 3 windows, I think.
So it's just a really sweet way just to pass some time, sometimes on the really long days and nights that are winter, and just to do something a little bit different, but it doesn't take a whole lot of planning or forethought. My kids also start working on Christmas songs for their piano in October. My mother-in-law down the street teaches my kids piano, so there's not a piano recital or anything like that, but they do learn Christmas songs, and then they will play them for their family when we all get together, and that is always a really special treat. So if you have something that your kid is playing or maybe doing, maybe they're really good at art or something like that, having a Christmas showcase is always really fun. It's something we started last year and I've super enjoyed. A couple of things we are also using this season are a treehouse schoolhouse. They had a whole plethora of ideas. One of the things that I really liked was a narration notebook with the Christmas story. So we're reading different aspects of it, and then they are narrating it back and illustrating it. And so that has been really neat, and I'm excited to have these completed and maybe have them for my kids to look back on year after year, and I think that they will really enjoy that. I also have the Gather Round First Christmas, a Gather Round Christmas unit. There are 2. Now there is one that is also Christmas Around the World. This is the one that focuses on the Christmas story, and we are excited because we're starting this next week, and it looks really sweet. So I actually have a book printed out for each one of my kids, a pre-reader, an early reader, an early elementary, and a middle school, and I can't wait. I really do think that they are going to like this. We are pausing all math and spelling and all of our normal school and gonna be doing just this. And I think it's going to be so sweet. I am praying that it is. I think each day we recite Luke 2, so hopefully by the end of the month, or at least by the end of Christmas tide on January 6th, we will have memorized the Christmas story, which, I mean, it's always in your heart. So I am excited about using this resource as well. Okay, 2 more big things. The first is, we did this last year and it was a blast. We did a Minivan Express, and what that meant was my husband and I sent our kids to bed slightly early. They didn't know it's dark starting at 5:15 or whatever, and so we sent our kids to bed slightly early, and then I made some hot chocolate and popped some popcorn. And earlier in the day I had printed out these tickets for a Minivan Express night, and I found a free template. If I can find that again, I'm gonna link it down below because it was super cute and really easy. Along with the free tickets, there was a free template of checklist for lights. And so one was actually for non-readers, and it just had big pictures, so of a Santa Claus, of a snowman, of a reindeer, of a star, of a nativity, and as you went past you could check them off. And then there was one for readers where they had quite a few more, and they had to find them and check them off. And so I had everyone set up with hot cocoa and popcorn and a clipboard with their ticket and their checklists on it. And we started playing a train sound, kind of like the Polar Express, which coincidentally we had just read and watched the movie that week. And we started playing a train sound through the Alexas that are in our house, and the kids were like, what in the world? They couldn't figure it out. And then what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Why are y'all out of bed?
Because Dad's sitting. Why do you have your YouTube channel? Whoa!
Hold on, that one's the girls. Boys, y'all are blue. Boys are blue. Blue clipboards.
Yeah, blue.
This says,
Really outside?
all aboard the Minivan Express, round trip ticket. Hurry now and don't be slow. It's time to look at lights aglow. Grab your coat and blanket to stay warm, but we live in Texas, we don't need this. I did. We'll drive around the city to see all its charm. We'll listen to music and drink hot cocoa. In my purse right here.
With who?
And if you're lucky, it might even snow. No.
I don't think it's good.
We'll have so much fun on the Minivan Express, you won't be disappointed. It's sure to impress. And then we moved from the train sound into the Polar Express soundtrack, all from Spotify. And my husband started going through the house with his little like newspaper boy hat that he has from some costume decades ago, and saying all aboard like the conductor. He had a hole punch, and they ran out of their rooms, and they're like, what is going on? And we were like, it is time to go on the Minivan Express. Do you have your ticket? And we handed them their ticket. He punched it out. We loaded them all up and then went around and found and checked off our stuff. Okay, what all have you found? What have you found, Hallie?
A bow, Christmas lights, a snowman, a Christmas tree, Rudolph, an angel, a bow. Ah!
Wow. Now, because we had already gone out a bunch of different times just regularly to look at lights, our kids knew where the best lights were, and then we had actually found this house that put them out like so much, but it was kind of far away, further than we would normally go just for a night of looking. So our kids hadn't seen it, but I had somehow randomly on a drive, and I said, Mark, we've got to go there. So that was actually our last stop, and our kids were able to check off almost everything that they had not been able to find on their list. It was the most fun night. So it did take a little bit of prep, but absolutely worth it. Our kids still talk about that memory to this day. Lastly, one of the most fun ways I have found to do gifts but have nobody have any clue what theirs actually are is I have every single kid's gifts wrapped in a certain kind of wrapping paper. So for example, my oldest sons might be cars, while my daughters might be polka dots, while then the other daughters is snowflakes, and the middle sons is Christmas trees. And I will take a little sliver of that wrapping paper and I will stuff that into their stocking, into the toe. You can't see it or anything like that, but it's always the first thing I put into their stocking. And then I will wrap their gifts in just that wrapping paper. And they will sit out under the tree for however long they do, whenever I finally get around to getting them wrapped. And on Christmas morning, the first thing we open is stockings. And so the kids look through it, and eventually they find their wrapping paper that tells them that is what their gifts are. That's the color that goes with them. And it is always so much fun because they kind of forget about that every single year until somebody will randomly happen on a thing of wrapping paper and they're like, oh yeah, they're presents. And so it ends up being a really fun tradition and a very easy way for me to know what's going on, but nobody else, which is really nice. Okay, you guys, that is about it for me and my Christmas traditions and things that we do as a family. I would love to know any other traditions that you guys have, so definitely leave them in the comments below, or if you would like to find me over on Instagram and DM me there. I love hearing from y'all over there too. My handle is the same, it's My Cathedral Garden. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you have not done so already, I would love it if you would subscribe. And if you are here from somebody else's video from the playlist, thank you so much for being here. I hope you stick around, and thank you once again to Kristi for hosting this. What a fun way to think about and to celebrate the Christmas season. Merry Christmas, you guys.